Everybody, welcome back to Absolute Paranormal Disclosure. I am your host, Eddie Abbott. It's good to see you again. I just got back from a vacation. Only took a few days, but we had a good time. We went out to Michigan's Adventure and we took my son out there and we had a great time. And the weather was really good the day we were at the park. And then on the second day, we went over to this place called Alto, Michigan, and they had this really cool zoo that you can like interact with everything. You know, I got to pet a giraffe and it licked me and it was kind of cool. So we did have a nice little trip across the state. Usually everybody knows me. I travel all over the country. I love to go places. I will just on a whim drop everything and I'll be in Florida in 24 hours or I'll be in Arizona in 24 hours. I drive everywhere. I've been everywhere. I got two states left. North Dakota, and Alaska. We've done all the rest. I've been to Mexico, I've been to Canada, I've been all over the goddamn place, but dang, I got to do that North Dakota and I got to do Alaska. I want to go to Mount Haze, Alaska. I really do. I know I'm never probably never going to get there, but I'm telling you, I want to go there. I know that they're under that mountain. They're in that mountain. I want to go. Wife just brought me a brand new coffee. Mm. And like many of you out there, I love coffee. She gets me that Cafe Americana, which is a decaf version of their coffee that they got to kind of create because they really don't carry a decaf, I guess. But this Cafe Americana is amazing. I don't know what it is. I always got a pike, and then I would get like, my stomach would get really upset because I drink so much coffee. I get like acid reflux and all that. So I switched to the decaf. And I don't know that it always works, but it's way better on my system than regular coffee all day, which I drink all day anyway. Anyway, enough of that. It's good to be back. And I want to talk to you guys today about what we have surrounding us, information that is out there that we don't even pay attention to, I think, and that most people blow off all this information as, ancient writings and all of those silly old people from back in the day don't know anything or crop circles. They try to, well, there's a group of people out there that want to believe that it's man-made. And you can tell by looking at them that majority of them are not. You can really pick out a human-made crop circle by the disaster zone that it becomes because they break all the reeds on the stems and the nodes get, bent and cracked. But when we know a crop was not created by humans, there's no damage at all to the crop. None. The nodes sometimes they'll rupture from the heat. You can tell they were heated up and dropped. They were not bent and cracked and crushed. There's no footprints. They just pop up overnight. They have it on camera. One person literally caught orbs coming out of the ground, flying around this entire field, two of them in tandem, and then a crop forming on camera as if it was a magic wand being waved over the field. And then the lights zoom off. And they're probably, 3-foot orbs, two of them, if you want to calculate on size. If you look at the video, you can find the video online. It's the only video captured of a crop circle being formed. So we know that they've been around since the beginning, right? Since people could write things down, they thought it was the devil coming in and chopping down the crop. So it was evil. Again, like we found out, most things that ever happen that people don't understand are from the devil, not from the devil. We just happen to be in a society that likes to believe things can't occur outside of what we were taught. Because if they do, well, guess what? It's from the devil. We're all going to go to hell because we're using the brain that we have in our head, our computer up here that our soul needs to interpret the world around it. We're using that. And some of us have a higher intellect and some of us have more curiosity than others. And I, for one, am that person. I am never satisfied until I deep dive everything I see. That is a fact about me. I really like to know how everything works. I want to know facts. I don't want to know bullshit. If you tell me so and so this and this and that, I'm not going to believe you. I'm sorry. You can give me the bits and pieces of the information. Look, coffee time. But I'm going to deep dive it. I'm going to find out what's reality. How does that fit? Where does that make sense? When I look at these crop circles, I know they're not made by humans. I've watched humans make them and they destroy the freaking crop. These are so intricate and so large that this is impossible. Overnight, I mean, we're talking at 4 in the morning, there could be no crop there. I mean, no circle there, no picture, whatever you want to call it. And then at 6 a.m. when the sun's up, you got this. No people in the area. None. Okay. Some people believe. Now, I don't know what to believe on some of them, but they're telling us something in these messages they're giving us. This is a message. Some people believe that because it's always depicted with the sun in the center, in some way, it's telling us that the sun controls 6 planets, right? So it's trying to say it in our solar system. People believe this, that our sun is only controlling 6 out of the 8. And a lot of people believe there are way more than 8 planets, some in a different orbit than what we're used to. So we don't really see them. But if you really look at these and you listen to what people say, some of these crop circles are trying to depict the sun as the center, and we've already gone over the black hole, and it's probably a wormhole. And I'm pretty much convinced that the sun is a wormhole. We just got to figure out how to get to the sun without burning the hell up. But a lot of people believe the sun only controls 6 planets. So you got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. Now, if you go by that theory, Neptune and Uranus are not controlled by the sun. They're not in an orbit around the sun because of the sun. So what's holding them? Well, if you really want to hear what these people believe, you might not like what you hear, but they believe that Saturn is holding Neptune and Uranus and also pulling on Jupiter. So it's steadying itself against Jupiter so it doesn't go off and start a whole new solar system. It stays controlled by Jupiter and it pulls on Jupiter just enough that Jupiter is in between 2 poles, one from the sun, one from Saturn. And that is causing Jupiter to have that slight tilt that it has, as if something were pulling on a shirt tails and pulling it backwards, right? So, and then now it leans forward because it's getting pulled, but it's also getting pulled forward, backwards. So it does kick it at an angle. If we look at that as reality, so now we're going to go to the what if file. What if Saturn is controlling Neptune and Uranus? What if Saturn is steadied by Jupiter and also pulls on Jupiter a little? And Jupiter's big enough to withstand it. So that would make sense, right? Jupiter would be a little bit too much for Saturn to pull into itself. But Jupiter would be the ideal candidate to keep another soon to be sun, maybe. Maybe that's what Saturn's becoming, another solar body that things are going to revolve around. Maybe it's going to take billions of years to get there, but it's already in the stages. What if, and I mean this, what if there are more planets past Saturn that they don't want us to know about? Now, we've heard a lot about Nibiru, right? Supposedly, Zachariah Sitchin wrote a book, and I can't remember the name of the book. It was something, it's something to do with the Anunnaki and Nibiru. And what if he's right? What if the writings that we have found in ancient Sumeria that depict the Anunnaki coming here from a planet Nibiru and creating life as we know it today on Earth? Now, I want you to remember, this is not the first incarnation of humans on this planet. It's just not, and that is a fact, and you need to accept that. We are a fourth generation from what I've understood, what I have learned. We are the fourth generation of a society that has been put into place on Earth. Now, there is gaps in between each societal structure and the collapse of that society. There's going to be gaps. Why are there gaps? Well, if I want to take my analytical mind and I'm going to start and I'm going to give you an idea how intelligence analyzation works. Let's start with the fact that we know aliens are here and embedded in the earth. That is where we're going to start. Now, there is no timeline in our analysis. We just know aliens predate human. They were here on Earth prior to human. They have found a way to embed themselves under the ground. And why would they do that? Because everything under the ground is safe from everything above the ground. Now, we live on a surface planet. We are surface dwellers. We're the surfacers. We are susceptible to every onslaught the planet can throw. There's no escaping for us. We have to stand our ground through every natural disaster possibly thrown at us. I mean, there's no getting away. We have no hiding place. We don't have a giant cave to run into that is going to keep us safe. So the surfacers that we are, we've had to learn to survive in some very harsh environmental situations. So I want you to go with me as an analyst. Now, we know aliens were here, and we're calling them aliens, but they're probably the original inhabitants of this body, this planet. This is probably their planet. Now, they're so advanced, they're buried. And we know they're buried. I mean, if you guys watch any of that Skinwalker Ranch show, you already know they're under the mesa all the time. I've been telling people since I got out of the military in 2009. They're underground, they're underwater, they're in the mountains, they're under the mesas, they're in the moon, they're on the moon, they're on every goddamn planet in the solar system. And we know it, we monitor it, we don't know what to do about it. So I am telling you right now, as an analyst, that we're all being one right now. We're going to take the earth and we're going to know just from the earth itself, there are beings within the earth under the ground, under the water. So we're not looking at anything but the earth. Okay. How many times has this planet changed temperatures? What poles have shifted? How many times have there been creations on a planet that have been wiped out and started over with something totally different? We know there were dinosaurs on the planet, right? We, in our amnesic state, have interest in certain topics if it's entertaining. So we make Jurassic Park, everybody likes dinosaurs, blah, blah, blah. But without movies, without, this being in the entertainment eye, we know about dinosaurs and it's not very interesting to most people. It's okay, yeah. And it's almost hard to believe that something that big has walked this earth and they're just gone. So knowing that there are beings in the earth, how many experimental features to this planet have they gone through? How many different species have walked the earth and have been eliminated? We got to look at that as actually something that has occurred. They are like the game masters. Whatever's going on our planet is totally under their control. And I know a lot of people get mad because their religious beliefs get in the way of what I'm trying to teach you here. You are a soul inside of an avatar. Okay, so God created man in his image. That's what we were taught. If God created man in his image, man, women, we're all the same, so we'll call it man. God is a bright, powerful light. God created man in his image. God is not this. God is not that dog. God's not that giraffe. God is not that alien. God is powerful, energy source, bright, enormous light. If we are created in the image of our creator, we are tiny little balls of energy, powerful and bright. inside of this avatar. We are at the base of our spine. This avatar is like a little robot we use. We're wired into the nerve endings of our spinal cord. This is your computer. This interprets the world around you. That's why babies are kind of like out of it for the first couple years. They don't, their computers taking all the information and it's interpreting it so that the baby starts to understand its environment. It starts to understand the normal things that go on, the mores of people. It starts to understand the language used. Because where we come from, we don't speak. Thought is transferred instantaneously. We could convey an entire 20-minute conversation in seconds with our brain if we were able to use that ability here in this avatar, but we are not. So we have to start thinking, what are we? We are balls of energy inside these avatars. And we could be in any avatar now. We could be on a different planet. We could be in that alien body that we all are familiar with, the gray alien. And, you know, they're brothers and sisters of ours. Everybody's in a different school. So we're in an Earth school according to God's creation. And we're in this Earth school to learn this reality's lessons. Every one of us is here to learn. We don't just sit in heaven and just, lollygag around in bliss. Honestly, anything that you've ever learned is bullshit. I'm being honest with you. It's bullshit. I died. I know there's another side. I've seen the other side. I've heard the other side. I've spoken to the other side. I was given a message about a soul contract. To fulfill a soul contract, we are not allowed to cross over until our contracts are up. Now, every soul contract is different, shorter, longer. There's multiple exits, meaning you could go to a certain point in your life and you decide subconsciously you're done. That exit that comes up will be your exit. But for the ones that sustain the ability to want to continue, to want to learn more, to want to go forward, no matter how hard it gets, you can go to the final exit of your contract. Oh, I'm not here to blow away your religion. I really am not. Is there a God? Yes, we don't. His name's not God. We just happen to call him God because that's what we, in our brains, depict as the greatest creator in the world. And God, the creator, is our God. God, the creator. We can look at other deities like a Christ, and then there's the Lord, and then there's the Lord our God, and then there's God, and then God the Creator. You can go up the ladder. God the Creator is as high as it gets. Now, God the Creator created our souls, which is who we are. We're little round, little tiny little lights. We can't be destroyed. We are energy. We've been around since the Big Bang. Now, you don't remember what's going on because it was taken from you in order to live in this existence. You could not remember where you came from. If we could remember where we come from, if we could remember the lives we've lived prior to this incarnation, you would not want to be here. You could remember your spouse from another life. If you lived on this planet, we're just going to use this planet right now because we have all come from different stars. We have all been in different schools, but we're here on Earth. So the only thing that we need to talk about today is Earth. We are earthbound for a short time. If we could remember lives prior to this life, children, spouses, people we love, things we've lost, you wouldn't want to be here. You would immediately want out of this one. There's no point. You would be so enthralled with what happened prior, you wouldn't want to be here. How are you going to complete learning in this life if you realize, hey, man, I lost all my family. I lost my kids. I lost my husband, wife, whatever. Whether you were female or male, we all switch. It doesn't matter. These bodies are just vessels. Our soul is sexless. Let's just be honest right now. That has nothing to do with anything. Sex and perversion and all that crap comes with being an avatar, and our soul really is genderless. So anyway, if we could remember all the other lives that we lived, then you would not want to be in this life. It's proven fact. Once we get in our head something that we love and cherish and want, we can't get it out of our head until we obtain it. So we need to forget. So before you're born, you're taken through a place that is called the field of forgetfulness. They take away your ability to remember your past lives, your past incarnations. All of the things you've already learned as a soul is removed. You are a blank slate every time you're born. Now, when you go back to the other side, you have the ability to stay there. I'm sorry, but I love my coffee and I don't want it cold. You have the ability to stay on the other side. That is up to you. That is a call that you make. But nobody wants to stay on the other side. We don't die and go to heaven and just hang out, okay? Like they want you to believe. I'm going to go hang out with people I've lost, and life's going to be great. And it's just going to be this one beautiful thing. You're going to be bored, right? God did not create us to sit around in bliss. It's just not why we're here. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're here to make mistakes. We're here to advance. We're here to help one another advance. Now, whether we believe it or not, we're all brothers and sisters. Every single one of us is related to other beings and other planets all over the known and unknown universe. We're all from the same source, every one of us. We just happen to be into different stages or different avatars and different schools and different lessons, right? We're here, we're in an earth school. That does not mean that we're the only ones on this earth. That does not mean anything like that. Do not believe that for a minute. We are here in our incarnation to traverse our way through this reality. And we do not have this reality to ourselves. This reality is a shared reality by other beings, and we need to accept that. We walk around in an amnesic state, right? We can't remember everything. It's like they've got us suppressed a little bit. They don't want us to know exactly what's going on, so that we maintain what they consider our normal, our life, our mediocrity. We are now coming to an age where the reality is about to be bent into the true reality that we live. We're not the center of this earth. We're not the center of the universe. We're not the smartest things ever created, right? They are trying to reach out to us, to teach us, to give us messages. And we're not getting it, folks. We're just not getting it. The government doesn't want us to know any of this, not one single shred of it. But we are now coming alive. So they have us in this amnesic state. So people have been seeing UFOs for decades. But the topic really never got pushed because the counterintelligence to it was so strong, it outweighed the fact that people really were seeing what they were seeing. But the government got so good at making you feel like a fool that the normal perception of reality of this was that it was nonsense. If it was nonsensical, then we don't want to talk about it. And that kept the topic under wraps for quite some time. Now people are becoming more and more conscious all over the planet about what's going on. And so if we are in an amnesic state, which I believe we are, we're in a twilight, we live in a twilight. We could gather all of our memories for a week and in less than 2 minutes summarize them. That means you're asleep. That means you're only remembering certain portions of your life. Why is that? What are they doing? What kind of frequencies are we living under? What kind of conditions? What kind of chemicals are being sprayed that are suppressing our ability to remember everything, to witness things that we probably have seen and don't remember because they've got us? And I know that sounds crazy because to me it sounds fucking crazy, but I think that's what's going on here. I think that they've got us under some suppressive state. Now, the other life forms that we call aliens are now reaching out. They've probably gone crazy trying to get this out to us, but we weren't ready. And our government isn't about to tell us anything. And we know that, they know that. So how do you go about doing this? They're going to wake us up. They're sending messages. They're trying to teach us, but we're not looking at the signs the correct way. What we need to do is we need to start waking up. We need to start writing down everything that we find important, everything that makes sense to us out of nowhere. Because when shit comes to you out of nowhere, it's not an accident. I'll tell you that now. Things don't just pop into your head for no reason. We live in a collective consciousness. We're all connected at some point to a shared reality. We don't understand that, but it is true. They have proven it through psychic operations. There is a collective. We're all connected collectively. So when you can tap into certain things that pop into your head out of nowhere, write them down. I'm telling you, when you start writing things down and you start reading them days later, and you're like, I don't remember that. Holy cow. You lay in bed, turn off the TV 20 minutes prior to falling asleep. I mean, literally, when you know you're getting tired, turn it off, lay there and just try to tap in to the reality of the universe. It is so easy to do once you learn how to do it. You really literally will get messages and you'll see things and things will start to come together. Questions you have will start to get answers and you'll be like, you won't even believe what's going on. You're like, wait a minute, am I making this up? Is this me talking to myself? And it's not. You just happen to be at the right state. You've dropped your guard. The walls are down. Information can flow. We have got to learn to write it down. Because if we don't write it down, we're going to forget it, man. I'm telling you guys, listen to me. When you get something, the next day it becomes less important because, you've forgotten most of it. For some reason, your desire disappeared. We have got to start paying attention to our desires and writing it down, knowing they're suppressing us somehow. I don't care if that sounds fucking crazy or not. It's true. We're being suppressed. It's a societal suppression. As a species, they don't want us to advance. They want the power. They don't want us to advance. But as far as the other aliens go, they want us to join them. There is a reason they're waiting. They need us to come to their level. The consciousness of this planet is shifting. There is going to be a rebirth on this planet, a whole new world. And I'm not talking like everything's going to get shredded and all this shit's going to pop up. A whole new world means a whole new consciousness, a whole new thought is going to collectively surround this planet. And it's taking place right now. We're waking up. We have to keep waking up. We have to start recognizing there are messages all around us and we need to start understanding them. We have ancestrally been trying to teach the next generation and we're overlooking it. When are we going to stop overlooking it? When are we going to realize the people that were here before us were not primitive? We are not as advanced as we want to believe we are. We need to wake up. There are signs, symbols everywhere. You got to wake up, man. You got to start looking. They want us to believe what they want us to believe. But the reality is there is more to life than what we know. The government's never, ever, ever going to give us the power. They're not. No matter what anybody thinks, no matter where you live, no matter where you're from, the United States government is running the show. Simple as it is. I don't care how that sounds, but our government is running the show. They're not fucking around either. Other countries know it, so there ain't nothing going to happen because they're just waiting for the U.S. to make everything known. And the only way that's going to happen is if the U.S. has all the power, they figured it out, and they're going to come out and just say, hey, guess what? We got it. We own the planet. Everybody do what you're told. There's a whole new world order. Or we all collectively start tapping into the reality around us. We start writing it down. I can't say that enough. We start looking at the signs, we start looking at the symbols, we start looking at all these writings, cave paintings, the hieroglyphs. Start teaching yourself to become educated. It's the best thing you could possibly do. And then when you do, pass your knowledge on to the next group of people. This is the only way we're going to do this. We're not alone. There are signs, messages, symbols everywhere. They are reaching out to us because we are being suppressed. There are so many things in the world that we don't understand because we have been suppressed. We just don't realize what's going on. It's like we have a twilight amnesia going on. And I don't know how else to put it, but we need to start opening our eyes, opening our minds, becoming the intelligent beings that we are. And we need to start putting our heads together. I'd like for you to do some homework if you could. I'd like for you to start looking at old relics that have been found, that have been worshipped. And I want you to start see if you can put together parts of each relic, statue, whatever deity they worship, and start looking for similarities. And when you start seeing similarities from all over the world, then you start realizing that, okay, not coincidental. They really saw this being. These beings kind of resemble each other, even though they're 4,000 miles apart. So the planet's 8,000 miles around. So if they're 4,000 miles apart, they're half a world away. How could they possibly have the exact same thing going on? Things like that, like pyramids on every continent, things like that, that they tell us, even though we're not really hearing it, they're telling us things that we need to understand that we're not. They're letting us know that, hey, we're here, we've been trying to teach you, we're trying to tell you. This is what the crop circles do. Crop circles are trying to give us a message. They're trying to teach us what is going on. Who can we crack the message? I mean, how can we crack the message? We got to start learning. We got to start interpreting things and not looking at them as pictures, but as a way of communication without words. We got to find a similarity in things that make sense to us. This looks like it's above, so below. I mean, there's things like that. You guys are looking at mirrored images right here. What? It's three-dimensional too. What are we looking at? Are we looking at different dimensions? Are we looking at the sun? Like I said, the sun controls first six planets. Saturn controls the planets beyond that. Are there more planets? How is this whole system working? Where are we from? Where are they from? How does it work? We are not awake, everybody. We got to wake up. We got to start interpreting things. We've got to start doing it ourselves because they're not going to fucking tell us, man. If we're waiting for them to tell us, you're never going to hear it. I don't know what else to tell you. You're not going to hear what you want to hear in your lifetime if you're waiting on them. Because they don't want anybody to know what they know. They cannot risk all these years of hiding shit just to come out and tell us because there's pressure. We are the only way we are going to learn. We are going to have to teach each other. And we're going to have to do it through means like this. We're going to have to share these podcasts. We're going to have to get everybody on the same damn page. So as an intelligence analyst, I can analyze a bunch of crap. I mean, there's no problem. I'll teach you guys how to analyze and what we're going to analyze. And once I start bringing that part of my knowledge to you, I will share with you things that, that'll open you up a little bit more so that you see things a little bit differently than you do today. And when we start going down that rabbit hole together, I think we're going to be able to start getting a lot of clarity out of some things that are just absolutely mirrored images and fog and smoke and all bullshit. We're going to break down the mirrors. We're going to break down the walls. Look at this. That's man-made bullshit. Just, put some space invaders. But we have got to understand that, like, we're looking at the crop circles. There are man-made crop circles, and then there are ones that are not. This is one that's grown back, and that is one that was not man-made. The crops seem to come back on the ones that are not man-made and do very, very well. They grow very strong, very healthy crop. Man-made ones are broken. They get broken. They damage the crop. It doesn't grow back. But the ones that they caught on camera, and I want you to look it up when you're done with my video. I want you to go look up on YouTube, orbs caught creating crop circles. And there's only one video, legitimate one video capturing two orbs coming out of the ground, flying around a field. And the camera watches the field like bend and twist, and everything goes down like boom, instantaneously. No damage, man. I mean, no damage. The nodes split like they were boiled, and that is it. And that heals back up because the crop starts standing up at a certain time. When they pay people, poor people in these areas, what they pay them to go out and create crops, that's called disinformation. These guys get boards, they go out, they ruin the crop. And you could tell they snap it. None of them look like the ones that are seen overnight. Like 4 in the morning, no crop. 6 in the morning, humongous crop. That can't be done by people. Sorry. So there is a distinct difference between man-made and other-made. And the crop grows back strong, healthy when it's other-made. It does not grow back healthy, strong when it's man-made. They destroy it. It's ruined. So I need you to do your homework, and I want you to do that. I want you to look up the orbs that they caught on camera. One person caught it on camera. It's amazing. It's undeniably amazing. It is done with a VHS camera, which you could tell there's no manipulation at all because it's some old school shit, and it happens in front of your eyes. So you do that and help bring yourself into the reality of what's going on, right? It'll help you understand better what is actually taking place on an earth that you live on and have no fucking idea what's going on around you. You wake up, you do your shit, you go do your job, you live your life, and everything's ho hum. I'm halfway here, halfway not. I remember half my day. I don't remember a lot of the shit that happened today. I am in a funk. I am in a twilight, and I don't want to be. That's what you got to tell yourself. I don't want to be in the state of mind that I'm in where I can't remember everything. Why are they doing this to us? Why? God didn't create you to not have memory. So I'm going to tell you that now. You're not here to go through the motions and not remember all the stuff that goes on in your life. Something's happening to where they don't want you awake all the way. It's easier to keep you in a semi-drug state, which you don't even realize you're in a semi-drug state because it's happening to all of us at the same time. So we're all in the same state and we're all interpreting things the same damn way. Some people, it just doesn't affect. Those are the people that have more clarity. They're more, their their perspective is so much different than ours. And then we look at them like there's something wrong with them because they don't fit into what we are, but we're asleep. So if we're asleep and they're not asleep because for some reason genetically they're just not, we need to start realizing that, hey man, just because somebody's different doesn't mean they're crazy. It means that we might be the ones that just don't understand reality. So we need to start being more susceptible to finding out that there's other people out there that can see things differently than we do. And that is where it all begins. It's not going to come from the government. It's not going to come from none of that. It's just not. We are responsible for everything that happens, and we are responsible for educating the next group. All right. So next show, we're going to do some intelligence analysis. I'm going to teach you some basics so you can look for things. And yeah, until then, I want you to be good, do your homework, and I want you to really look up the orbs creating crop circles on YouTube. And leave some comments on the website. You guys take